100 billion Bitcoin and crypto ETF approved, and then suddenly the price crashes, accelerated after a serious Fed warning. Bitcoin price crumbles after spot ETF approval. What is really going on here? Is there some insider trading? Is there some shady business happening? Is something very suspicious going on with this recent ETF and this subsequent crash in Bitcoin? We're about to examine it because you are being lied to, and it stops today. I'm going to base everything on actual facts and evidence, and we're going to walk through step by step how you're being lied to, and you're going to leave this video with a new sense of hope for all of the shadiness that's going on here. Let's dig into it. This is urgent. I found something in the charts. I'm going to drop a huge trade alert with one of the top trades of 2024. I'm not only going to tell you what it is, I'm going to tell you exactly how to trade it. This is your opportunity to make a large amount of money in 2024. The problem is you only have 48 hours to join our FFA and unlock your huge alert. The clock is ticking. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. Again, that's cryptocrewuniversity.com. Go. We're going to uncover this chart right here and walk through step by step what's happening. Because before we get to that, we're going to have to cover a couple more news articles because it is getting very, very shady. If you go back to what we just showed you, there was an article that was released before the ETF came out, and it said, this is why Bitcoin won't crash 30% after the ETF decision. Wow, this one aged really well. And then, of course, you have these idiots that say Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million within a few days. I'm not even going to say this person's name. I don't know who they are, but they deserve to be locked up for insanity. Now, we've got obviously an ETF approval, and obviously there was a lot of hope happening in the market. There was a lot of buzz. There was a lot of interesting things happening. And then as it got approved, what happened next was very suspicious and potentially a little bit shady. But we're going to try to base it on the facts and the charts and make some sense of this chaos, and you're going to leave with absolute certainty. Let's get into it. We have Bitcoin US dollar index. We're on the monthly chart. What we have in front of us are three distinct cycles. The one in 2015, the one in 2019, and the one in 2023-2024. Now, what we know based on the facts are these three cycles, everything played out exactly the same way. Pound for pound, move for move. What we have in front of us is right here. If you go to your trading view and you go to fib retracement, what you're going to do is go from the swing high, which is here, to the swing low, which is here, and you're going to have the settings be precisely this. Now, I saw in the past video, some people got confused because we have the 0, the 0.38, and the 0.78. If you come down to the bottom of here, you're going to want to click fib levels based on log scale. That's if you have the log scale on. Right? If you don't have the log scale on, don't have that clicked. When you do that, it'll show up like this. Now, as I told you, Bitcoin has been doing the exact same moves. And this move that we recently had getting rejected from this 0.78 on the fib is not a surprise. In fact, about 2 months ago, we made a video with what we thought was going to happen. Now, we had no idea that the ETF was going to be approved, nor did we care. But 2 months ago, we made this video. Roll the clip. It's likely that Bitcoin is going to have a rally over the next couple months up to this 0.78. And it's highly likely that we're going to be met with resistance at this level. Again, 2019, 25% of a correction. In 2015, it was a 40% correction. So it's a very good place to take profits. It's also based on the Fibonacci sequence. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. So you see, 2 months ago, when Bitcoin was way the hell down here and everyone was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? We said what was going to happen based on what Bitcoin has been doing for its entire history. This is a distinct move. This is phase 2 of the bull. Phase 2 of the bull has acted precisely the same way every single time. What happens in phase 2 in 2015? We rallied all the way up to the 0.78 of the fib. Then we got rejected. 2019, phase 2 of the bull. We rallied all the way up to the 0.78 of the fib, then got rejected. So 2023 came rolling around and we were like, how is this going to shape up? Oh, I bet it's going to rally all the way up to the 0.78 and then get rejected. So the key is here, this was already in the cards. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. The ETF is a news event. The news event should be thrown right into the garbage. That's where it belongs. Everything is played out into the charts, and the news is all based on the charts. You see these news articles like, oh my God, the ETF, Bitcoin won't crash, and hey, Bitcoin's crashing because of this and because of what's happening. So is there some shady business happening behind the scenes? Is there something going on? We're going to discuss that. But let's be honest here. We had this coming. Bitcoin had every single cycle rallied up to the 0.78. Look at where we went. We went directly up to the 0.78. So how the hell did we call that 2 months ago if it's suddenly based on the news? Nothing's based on the news. We don't have a crystal ball. There's nothing special about us aside from the fact that we focus on the facts and the charts and nothing else. We don't focus on any news articles. If you're new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because on this channel, it's purely based on facts. So once you have these facts, you can proceed in Bitcoin in a non-emotional way. And when news events are happening and it seems like chaos is breaking out and people are going bonkers, you can stay level-headed and focus on the pure facts in the charts. My audience was well aware of this 7-8, right? This is urgent. I found something in the charts. I'm going to drop a huge trade alert with one of the top trades of 2024. I'm not only going to tell you what it is, I'm going to tell you exactly how to trade it. This is your opportunity to make a large amount of money in 2024. The problem is you only have 48 hours to join our FFA and unlock your huge alert. The clock is ticking. Go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, that's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Go. By the way, if you've been following my channel for a long time, we covered this exact chart in the prior cycle about 4 or 5 years ago, and we covered the exact same moves. How did we know it back then? We based it on 2015, right? So now we've got 3 distinct cycles, and phase 2 acts the same way every time. As I mentioned in the clip you saw, we had a 40% rejection and somewhere around a 30% rejection for this one and this one once we got to the 0.78. So what do you think is going to happen this time? It's going to be around the same, right? We're going to see a rejection. We already have a large wick on the upside. You never want to see large wicks on the upside if you're a bull. Large wicks on the upside generally mean a reversal. Large wicks on the downside generally mean a bullish move. So let's be very, very clear about what's happening here. Now, to those that say, well, I think what really happened is there was some shady business happening with the ETF and maybe some insider trading or maybe something is going on. That's completely BS. It's completely BS what's happening here because what you see happening before our eyes is the cycle is playing out exactly as it would even if there was no news article. If the ETF news article didn't create this, it would have been some other news article to replace it, why Bitcoin just crashed from the high of whatever we got to, right? The 0.78. Nobody will mention in the news article, oh my God, Bitcoin has done this exact move every single cycle that it's been in existence. That's not a sexy news article. The sexy news article is like, oh my God, things are crashing. There's blood in the streets, pandemonium. No, Bitcoin has never done this before. That's a sexy news article, but that's also not true. What is true is Bitcoin has done this exact move every single cycle in its entire history, period. That's it. That's how simple this game is. This is a game. If you want to play with the big dogs, if you want to play with the professionals, you cannot go based on the news and your emotion. That'll get you absolutely into a train wreck. You do not want that. What you want to do is remain level-headed, remain calm, focus on the facts. And by the way, we're in the midst of a bull run. The bull run started last January, not up for debate. We're in the midst of it, right? It's going to get crazy. And from here, it's going to get even crazier with all of these different speculative markets popping up. And every single time, I want you to remain level-headed with the facts and the charts. I want you to take the news and throw it directly into the garbage. That's where it belongs. I want you to take all the social media hoopla, throw that directly into the garbage. I want you to remain clear and level-headed. If you want to play with the big dogs, you better be doing what they're doing. They are not watching the news. I guarantee you that. They're not. They are not watching the news. Neither are you. Okay? So this is where the game is played, in between the lines here. Okay? We have the Fibonacci retracement. We have our clear rules. We have a clearly defined system. So what are we expecting to happen next? Well, it's going to continue as it's done before. So if we look back and we say, okay, back in 2015, we rallied up to the 0.78 of the fib. Then we had a pullback. The pullback took 2 months, by the way. We hit the top here, 1 red candle, 2 red candles. These are monthly candles, and we came down. If we do a percentage fall, we're looking at 40%. So we fell 40%, but not a day after, not a week after, not 10 days after. It took us 2 months to fall 40%. And by the way, that 40% fall was not just a random 40%. We fell precisely, exactly to the phase 1 of the bull top. This was our resistance for a whole bunch of months. This is phase 1 of the bull, right? Resistance for a whole bunch of months. Then we rallied up to the 0.78 and we crashed down to where? We crashed down directly to where our prior resistance was. This is what's supposed to happen in these markets. Like if you look even at the prior market, right? If we take a different look, a perspective of what's happening in these prior cycles, even if you go back to one of the first cycles in 2012, right? This is phase 1 of the bull. This is phase 2 of the bull. Phase 2 of the bull rallied all the way up to here, but also crashed all the way back down to our base, which was our prior resistance. Once you break resistance, it turns into support. We had to confirm it structurally. This is the healthiest move of the market. This is what happened back in 2012. More than 10 years ago, Bitcoin did this exact move, right? So what do you think is going to happen next? We've discussed it at length in many videos, and all of the comments always tell me the same thing. Steve, this time is different. The ETF is coming. Go back and look at the videos for the past 2 months. I've been saying the same exact thing for 2 months, and all of the comments are like, Steve, this time is different. I know you've been right a lot for the past couple of years. You've made these big calls, but you're going to be wrong this time. The ETF is coming. Watch for the ETF. Lots of money flowing in. This time is different. They've been screaming it at me for months. What happened? Don't bet against the charts. You have to have respect for the charts. This is a big boy game. You got to get your big boy pants on if you want to play this game with the big dogs. It's time to change what you're doing. This time is not different. Last time was not different. The time before that was not different. The reality is they've all been the same. And it's time for you to wake up and smell the coffee. You're in the big leagues now. You're going to get chewed up and spit out. That's what's been happening to you so far. You got to wake up, right? We did the same thing in 2012, more than 10 years ago. Then we did the same thing in 2016. Here's phase 1 of the bull. This is phase 2 of the bull. Phase 2 of the bull is built directly on top of phase 1. Our prior resistance becomes our support. We rally up, we crash down. The whole thing repeats, right? As I mentioned to you many, many times, this is the time where we didn't come to retest, but then we came to retest at our market cycle low of the next cycle, which I told you repeatedly, on repeat, video after video. Bitcoin is going to come back down and test this market structure, either now in this cycle or in 2 years from now when we have our next market bottom. One of those things are going to be 100% true, because that is what Bitcoin has done every single time. It's as I mentioned many times, it's highly likely in this cycle that we come back and retest this. And I gave you a specific strategy already for that. But here we are today, right? If Bitcoin were to do something similar, right? We had this test here, and how far did we come and retest after this fall here? We came back down like 20%, right? So we got rejected 20% here, 40% here. This was an unorthodox cycle. Phase 1 and 2 were combined, where the rest of the cycles, phase 1 and 2, were separate, but still the same moves played out because they are still phase 1 and phase 2 together. So if Bitcoin were to do something similar and we were to have a pullback, where would it go to? If we pulled all the way back to our recent structure here, we're talking about 34. So would 34% of a pullback be completely unorthodox, absolutely unheard of? No, it would be par for the course. It's precisely what we've done every single time, which makes this article completely garbage worthy. You should crumple this up, throw it directly into the garbage. This is why Bitcoin won't crash 30% after the ETF decision. I don't know who these idiots are, but they oh boy. So when you go back to the charts here, to the actual facts, to the actual evidence, this is what we should expect. And it's nothing new. If you've been new to my channel, you better subscribe now, because on this channel, it's no BS. It's straight to the facts. And usually what I say hurts your feelings because it goes completely against the grain. What I tell you is not what you want to hear. When we were talking about the ETF, you wanted me to tell you Bitcoin is about to explode. That would have gotten a lot of clicks and a lot of views, but that's not how I roll. I usually tell you what you don't want to hear because it goes based on the facts and usually goes completely against the herd. And by the way, in videos where I say everyone is wrong, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying the charts are right. And I'm not saying everyone is wrong. I'm saying the herd is wrong. Every time I make a video about everyone is wrong, it's specifically about the herd and to change your mindset from the herd mindset to the minority mindset and based on the facts. It's very tough to do. I was in your shoes. I started trading at 16, making all the ridiculous mistakes, following all of the news. I've been there. I know what it's like, but I know how to take you from where you are to where I am. I know what that journey is like too. And that's what I try to do here. We're not trying to take all these paid ads and all this paid promotion, all that BS. We cover the facts and the charts that actually help people. And that's what we focus on. It's very different here. It's a very different breed, which is why you just subscribed. This is now your new home, okay? So this is what we expect. And if we expect a pullback potentially all the way down to here, do you think you're going to be putting your buy orders in at 32? Hell no, they're not going to be filled. Look at the past times where we made these falls. Large wick at the bottom. These are quick moves. Smart money is buying it up because they have their big boy pants on and they're not paying attention to the news. That's what you need to do. These moves are bought up quick. Okay, so if you put your buy order at 32, it's not going to get filled. It's probably not going to get filled at 33. Probably not going to get filled at 34. We told you to try to put it in at 35, 36. We'll probably get filled there. Is that going to be the absolute best buying opportunity? Who cares? That's not the game the big boys are playing. You wanted to take profits near here, which is what I told you 2 months ago. So if you did that, or even if you really screwed up and you took profits way the hell down here at 44, you're still going to look like a superhero if you buy at 35, 36. Because the herd is not doing that. The high majority are not doing that. It's only a small subset of people who know what the hell's going on and avoid all the other crap. They know. They do that. Okay? This is what I want you to do. Be buttoned up, stay level-headed, don't pay attention. There's going to be another kind of ETF event in Bitcoin this year in 2024 with a ton of hype. It'll be probably more hype, many different areas. They're going to try to captivate you and saying Bitcoin's going to do this. You always want to do the opposite of what the herd is chanting. It's very difficult to do, which is where I come in. I come into these videos, I usually disappoint you because I tell you what you do not want to hear. If you think we're going to keep crashing down, down, down like all the herd, I usually tell you we're about to skyrocket. You don't want to hear that. You want it to keep crashing down so you could buy lower. Then I ruin your dreams. Then when Bitcoin's rallying and going up and everyone's so excited, I usually tell you we're about to crash. I usually destroy your dreams again. And you hate it. But you come back because I tell you the facts every time. I'm incredibly consistent with the facts. That's why you respect it. That's why you subscribe. So we're going to continue doing that. We're not going to follow the herd. We're not going to follow the news. We're going to have tremendous respect for the charts. The charts are leading us in the correct direction. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. Hit that subscribe button. This is urgent. I found something in the charts. I'm going to drop a huge trade alert with one of the top trades of 2024. I'm not only going to tell you what it is, I'm going to tell you exactly how to trade it. This is your opportunity to make a large amount of money in 2024. The problem is you only have 48 hours to join our FFA and unlock your huge alert. The clock is ticking. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. Again, that's cryptocrewuniversity.com. Go.